I have a lot of thoughts and emotions on this one. The Midair collision that took place Saturday, July 29th at the EAA Airventure ultralight field. Only a few days before, I had rode on that helicopter with that pilot. Hi, I'm Dan Milliken, and this is the Taking Off channel. This video is going to be a lot different for obvious reasons. In a moment, we're going to get into what we know about the mid-air collision between a Gyro and a home-built or kit helicopter. But we're also going to celebrate the lives of two men that were taken too early from us and their loved ones. And at the end, I'll play the short video I took of the ride with pilot Mark Peterson. After I learned of the crash Saturday afternoon, I was devastated to discover it was Mark. And I also knew the emotions that I felt were nothing compared to that of Mark and Tom's families. That night after falling asleep, I had the most vivid dream in which I was in a small aircraft and the pilot lost control as we plummeted toward the earth, and I awoke. Sleep was difficult to find again that night. And my little experience is just a fraction of the turmoil that the two extended families are facing right now. Two men died that Saturday, pilot Mark Peterson and passenger Tom Volz. I never met Tom, but now I've spent some time talking with his family and have learned a lot about him. You know, I wish I'd met Tom. Sounds like the kind of guy that knows no strangers, instantly friendly. The 72-year-old was married for over 52 years to his high school sweetheart, Patty, and they lived together near Cincinnati, Ohio. Tom loved aviation and had been building his own Rotorway helicopter, and he just completed the build this past spring. He had brought his grandson, Hayden Volz, to Airventure and was looking forward to completing his pilot training so that he could take passengers. Mark took Tom up with the plan to take Hayden next. Hayden watched his grandpa take off from the ultralight field near the South 40 at Airventure. Tom Volz was a husband, a father, a grandfather, and even a great-grandfather. He served in Desert Storm, he survived cancer, leukemia, and was the former president of his local EAA chapter. Now, there were systems and safety procedures in place at the ultralight field, and I know because I witnessed them firsthand just a few days before. I had to attend a safety briefing with Mark in which all the pilots that planned on flying that day had to attend. They got a wristband denoting that they attend. The field was doled out in blocks to the different styles of ultralight aircraft. The gyros and small rotors usually flew the lunchtime block. The pattern was very defined and altitude limits were hard set. And when I sat in the meeting, Mark even brought up a clarifying point for the pilots. In my short time with Mark, my impression was of a very skilled pilot who was very no-nonsense, especially when it came to safety. He also had a heart to share aviation. The day of our ride, I had a hard out, a commitment I had to be at. He squeezed in another ride before me for a little girl who wanted to go up, and I was totally fine with that. And as he landed, I told him that it was okay if we couldn't do it today, that we'd try another time, but he thought we could at least get one loop in the pattern, so I hastily mounted a couple cameras, set the audio recorder, and away we went. Mark Peterson was from Foley, Alabama, and was well known in the tight-knit home-built rotorcraft community. He was a skillful pilot and a CFI, teaching many people to fly, and he was 69. What we know about the crash, there were multiple aircraft in the pattern, which was normal. It was all controlled by radio communications. The pattern was defined with mandatory check-in points with the controller. No one was allowed inside the fence of the field unless they were supposed to be there. The airfield workers were extremely professional, and before letting me inside the gate, made sure I had the requisite wristband, which showed that I'd been at that safety briefing and that I was supposed to be inside the fence. And once inside, they made sure I was safely back from the flight line. The pattern for the ultralight field was a little different than a standard pattern because of the congested airspace, and the pilots knew exactly what it was. And after taking off from the field, it was a slight left turn, then straight to the highway. You'll see this in my flight with Mark, and then a left turn along the highway before turning in towards Airventure, the South 40, along Country Road N. Then the base leg was over the South 40, curving to the left for the final approach, and this kept traffic away from the main Whitman Field traffic flows. On July 29th, there was a gyro, or auto gyro, ahead of Mark and Tom in the Rotorway helicopter, both in the normal pattern. The gyro was a tandem, fully covered with two places. The gyro achieves lift by a free-spinning rotor overhead, and that main rotor is not powered, but relies on air rushing through it to maintain the rotor speed necessary to provide that lift. Because of that, a gyro really can't hover in the traditional sense that a helicopter can. The gyro is generally pushed by a motor with a prop on the back, and according to the ADS-B data, the gyro was ahead of Mark and Tom on the base leg. While turning onto the base leg, the gyro had a slight deviation, but not really out of the normal. And as it approached the final approach path, the gyro turned to the left more than 200 degrees in a circle and into the oncoming Rotorway helicopter. The gyro came down hard onto a parked Mooney, and the two occupants of the gyro were rushed to the hospital. Early reporting said 2 bystanders were injured, but that was inaccurate. It was the 2 in the gyro. The Mooney was unattended. Tragically, the Rotorway crashed and it erupted into a fireball, instantly killing Mark and Tom. If you'd like to give to the family, I've got a link in the description below, and I'll end with a short flight I took with Mark a few days before. At the ultralight field, I'm going to go for a ride in a kit helicopter. How fun is that?
Water tower, low pass. Roger that, low pass and big red. You're clear to depart. Clear to depart, big red.
Hey, Rotorway.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Gotcha.
Okay, good.
Yellow gyro, water tank, low pass.
And which Rotorway is this?
This is actually a 162F, but the engine is the brand new engine that's been being worked on and been redesigned, and this has got lots of torque, lots of power. We're actually going to rate it. So this is the airframe we're testing it in.
I see. What's the engine?
It's actually the engine they make, but it's been redesigned by an independent engine designer, Joe Huff. And we've increased the displacement by at least 10 inches, and the torque is up, and horsepower is in excess of 180 now.
Okay. For a two-seater.
And for a two-seater, right. That's why it's got plenty. So I limit myself to 40 inches of manifold pressure. We normally hover about 31, maybe cruise about 28. But no more than 40. I don't need it. I mean, we'll just go straight up. It's tons of power.
Right.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go do the needle split real quick here, and then we'll get going. Okay, let's go around. Rotorway top, Black Rotorway ferry for pickup to a hover.
And you are clear to hover.
Okay, the governor took over, but we're going to bump it to 101%. We have 2 people on board, a little bit more inertia.
Okay.
And Rotorcraft Tower, when Black Rotorway gets into the hover, we're ready for departure.
And Black Rotorway, you're clear to take the active and depart.
It's still every man for himself. You still got to look and make sure.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Here we go. Taking off into the winds more out of the west, and then we'll turn runway heading here.
Inbound for a full stop. Yeah, copy that, full stop.
This is so nice. Hard to believe it's a home-built kit.
Yeah, no, it's been around a long time, but it's actually a very good kit. We're limited to 300 feet, so that's where we'll stay.
Okay.
Oh, I think Big Red.
And we got like 10 million
Sorry about
ampers here.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing out there.
That's why my helicopter's red. I like it. Yellow gyro, water pass, low pass. Copy that, low pass. Field's all yours, guys. Big red water tank. Copy that, Big Red.
Yeah, so right now we're doing 75 miles an hour, 300 feet, 25% throttle is all that's in position right now.
Rectify, water tank will be a low pass.
Yeah, our normal cruise would be about 75, 85, but we're limited to about 65, 70 our airspeed here with everybody else. So.
Roger that. Great job, guys.
The main Rotorway helicopter, how many hours of build time does it take?
If you've never done it before, I would tell the guys to expect 500 to 800 real man, single man hours.
That's less than a Van's RV.
That's correct. That's correct. This is a lot of assembly.
Okay,
there is some minor fabrication, but you know, there's a lot of what I call stand-up time. You're standing there in front of them saying, "What are they? What they want me to do? What?" You know, you have to sort of just. Okay, let me step back and get the big picture, you know, so there's a lot of that. Now, when a guy goes to build a second one, it's probably half that time. Just like anything else we do in life, second time around is so much easier.
Cost?
The kits, I think, are $138,000.
Yeah. Okay, $138,000,
Which gets
500 to 1,000 man hours.
Yeah. And then, you know, that includes everything except avionics and paint with the kit. The power plant is included with that kit price.
Appreciate it. And I do have
that is not bad.
Ahead of me here on the line.
You know, and it's a very sensitive helicopter, but you can see I'm just getting a light grip on my control, keeping everything in balance with foot pedals, the cyclic and the collective.
Is everything controlled exactly like any other helicopter?
It is. It is, right. Yeah, we have direct, you know, cables for the cyclic. We don't have any hydraulic boost, but the control inputs are the same as you would do on any helicopter. You know. The only things that difference between other helicopters might be the rotation of the main rotor blade from the top. You know, some are clockwise like this one, and some are counterclockwise.
I see.
But they don't fly any different. What's our time?
We're at 12:45.
Okay. Yeah, you want to make a full stop, or you want to do
another? Yeah, let's go and do. I just can't be late.
Yeah, I
for
understand.
this thing.
All right, we won't make you a full stop. I apologize for being a little late.
It's okay. So safety-wise, I imagine there's a lot of people going, you know, I don't want to build. You build something that breaks on the van RV, and you can glide in.
Right. But you can do that with a helicopter. It just goes a little quicker.
Rotate. Sure,
a little quicker. That's where training comes in.
Black Rotorway SOA, water tank, full stop. Big red water tank, full stop.
Yeah, so it's you know, it's all about training. You know, get enough training. Can't get too much training, then you can fly your helicopter safely.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I appreciate the ride.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. I'll get in here between the two helicopters.
I will tell you, I do want to get my rotor.
It's a good way to do it if you want to do this way. I mean, you know, as a CFI, I can train you in your rotorway when the kit is complete. And then you just pay me to sit there and give you flight training. You know, you don't rental fees, and you pay the fuel and all that kind of stuff. So there is a cheap way to get there. But, you know, it just takes what it takes to build it. It takes what it takes to get your training.
Nice. Well, thanks for the ride.
No question.
Thank you guys for watching. And helicopter kit, not a bad way to go.
Roger that, low pass. Let me pass you here on the inside.
All right, very cool. Thank you.
All right, we'll get you going here. As soon as she gets here, she'll get you going. Okay, there she is.